Welcome to Chad the Home Care Guy. Real conversations about aging, home care, and the decisions families face every day. Hosted by Chad Fisher, founder of Avail Home Care. Because caring for the people you love shouldn't be confusing. Let's get started.
All right, guys. Hey, we're back today. Chad the Home Care Guy. And I am back with a friend of mine, Rachel Dominy, who is at the Goldton. And today we're going to hear a little bit about her journey and a little bit about this facility. So it is the Goldton Assisted Living and Memory Care. And we are in St. Pete today. So welcome.
Yes.
Thanks for being on. Time coming.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about where you're from. I do this with everybody when they come on. Tell me a little bit about where you're from and then how you got here.
Okay, perfect. So I'm originally from Ohio. I have been in Florida for a little over 10 years. I come from the dental industry originally. And so, yes, still a part of healthcare, but very different, obviously. And I started marketing and just meeting all of the amazing people in our industry. And it has landed me here at the Goldton.
Yeah. How long have you been here?
I have been here since January.
Since January. And what's your title?
Director of Sales and Marketing.
All right. For families that often wait too long to start looking at assisted living, what are some of the signs that tell you it's time?
So if your loved one is starting to have falls or you're starting to be concerned, if they're taking their medications on time, most of the time families going over trying to help bridge that gap for as long as they can until something serious happens and there's,
That's usually what happens.
yes,
Yeah.
hospitalization or
Time for the next steps.
Yes.
Yeah. Plus you have people that are family members that are out of state a lot of times. And I think that's probably a big one for you guys. Yeah. Yeah. Many people think about assisted living and it means losing your independence. So what are some of the biggest misconceptions you hear? What's the reality of it?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think anyone foresees themselves going into an assisted living,
Yeah.
I mean, even for you or I. So it can definitely be a hard thing to grasp for our seniors. And a lot of them, that is something that they say, I'm not ready for, assisted living. I don't need that much help.
Yeah.
So even just having support here in the building and being able to, push that call button if you do need a little bit of assistance and not have to get up by yourself. Just small supports, not having to cook your meals every day. If I
Yeah.
could afford it, I would probably move in right now.
Yeah,
But laundry,
exactly.
meals, yeah, cooking.
Stuff's coming.
Yeah.
I think there is, there's signs to both. And being in home care, I see both sides of it. And I try to support both sides
Of course.
because like the Goldton, we do come in here.
Yeah.
We help in the home and in facility, but it really is interesting to see people and hear their story of why they don't want to move into a facility because they really do think it's like life is over.
Yeah.
That's it, and then they move in and they're like, oh, I've made friends. There's people. I'm eating with so many people during the, morning, noon, and night. You get all these meals and you build up relationships that are new.
Mhm.
I think some people are maybe scared of that because they've lived in their homes or apartments or townhomes, condos for so long and they're losing that. But it really is, for a lot of people, that decision is probably one of the best decisions I think that they can make. So what makes the Goldton different than other assisted living and memory cares that are local here?
Yeah. So I think what makes us stand out is we are owned and operated by the same company. That makes a huge difference just as far as how we're operating.
Yeah.
Our owners are wonderful. They live in Alabama. They're here often to check in and just
That's
be
good.
supportive. So that definitely helps. We also operate under an LNS license. So we do have a little bit more capabilities in some assisted livings in the area, doing things like 2-person transfers and medication injections that some of our seniors may need.
Yeah, no, that's good. Having that extra license is actually really good. I know that opens the door for a lot of different people to come in.
Yeah, and
So,
also being able to keep our residents for a little
yes,
bit
yep.
longer if we can.
Let's talk about memory care for a second. It can be overwhelming to families, of course, but what specialized programs or approaches do you guys take to help the residents with like Alzheimer's or something like that?
Yeah, so in our memory care community, we're always going to have activities going. We know that stimulation is the best thing for
Yeah.
someone. Even if you're just sitting, trying to have a conversation or having music playing, keeping that mind going.
Yeah.
We do have a secure courtyard as well. So that makes it very helpful to be able to take our residents outside, get some fresh air, get some sunlight that we all need.
Need that. Vitamin D?
Yes, of course, all of our staff are trained in Alzheimer's and dementia
Oh,
as
good.
well, just how to redirect and deal with the behaviors that may come along with that.
It's good. It's good. When families come in for a tour, what questions should they be asking that they may not even think about?
I live in Florida, so definitely like evacuation zones are kind of a big deal. I don't think
That's actually a really good one. I didn't even think of that until you just said that. And I've lived here my whole life.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Obviously, in an assisted living, to pack up all your residents and have to evacuate is,
That's a big deal.
yeah.
And a big move for the
Yeah.
facility itself.
And
So-
for the residents to be, kind of in that limbo as well. So we didn't have to leave for either of those two big storms. Knock on wood, we're
You guys got
hopeful
lucky.
too. We made it through those two.
Yeah, you got lucky on that one. Any other things when they tour? Like, what do you think that should they be asking about? Do you get asked about like meals, like who your chef is or
Yeah.
anything?
Meals are probably one of the most important things.
I would think that would be one that was the top on my list. It's like if I had to move in someplace, I'd be like, okay, well, who's cooking and what's it look like?
And how's it taste?
Because I think most people they hear the word, we say it. I say facility all the time.
Yeah.
It's just a general term.
Yes.
But when you're talking to a family
Yeah.
and you probably say the term facility, their mind probably goes right to a hospital stay they were at or a rehab they were at, which we know the food there is not the greatest. So I'm sure that would be something that they ask for.
Definitely, meal options, if meals can be delivered to the room, things like that.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
In-house doctors, that's another big thing. that
Yes.
People, should be asking about what providers come into the building, what services are provided here, because we know, taking your loved one out or having transportation may be a little overwhelming at times. So
Yeah.
the more we can handle in-house, the better.
Yeah.
So just being educated about what we can and can't do here.
Okay, good. When a family basically comes through here and you talk, let's say pricing, what is an average price in this area? You don't have to say exactly what your prices are, but what does it look like for someone who might be looking at and watching this video and maybe they're out of state and it's the adult child that's watching this podcast right now and they have family down here. What can they expect?
Yeah, so I would say we are pretty mid-level pricing between all of the communities in the area. So roughly for assisted living, I would say between probably $4,000 and $6,000 would be
Okay.
your average.
Okay.
And then for memory care, depending on if it's a shared unit or a private unit, you could be looking at probably between $5,000 and $8,000. Would be my guess for an average.
I think
around
that's
here.
probably average around here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. Moving a loved one into a community can be emotional, that we know.
Yes.
How does your team help make that transition a little better for the resident and the family?
Yeah. So obviously, anytime a new resident comes in, that family member is going to leave with all of our cell phone numbers. The executive director's cell phone number, our director of nursing cell phone number. We want you guys to be able to reach out to us at any point. If there's a concern, if there's a question, you can get a hold of us at any point, even if it's at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So just open communication and making sure that door stays open. We also have a new system in our community through Speak To. So we have little NFC dots in all of our rooms. So anytime our caregivers go in to provide care, they're going to touch their phone to that little dot and then they're going to record, I helped Miss Smith use the restroom. I showered Miss Smith. Miss Smith went to bingo today.
Oh, really?
And then the family
cool.
has a family app and they can see that. So that really just helps us all stay on the same page and everybody know what's going on.
No, that's good. And on move-ins, we may be doing a little something together as well, too. So it's going to be
very excited to roll that out too.
I
be able
think-
to offer that.
I think it's going to be really good. What we do is, when someone moves in to help them kind of transition and get used to being here, we'll probably have a caregiver that will come in from Avail and hang out with them for a certain amount of hours and a certain amount of days just to get them acclimated. So that'll be a good.
Hand holding and extra support those first couple of days.
I think it's going to be great.
Yes.
Home care and assisted living often work hand in hand. When do you see private duty and home care becoming a great complement to the community? We just talked about this, but anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like sometimes people that work in the communities don't like home care for whatever reason. We definitely don't feel that way at the Goldton. We want the more support that we have for our residents,
I
the
agree.
better. And then avail, you guys can take people to appointments. You can come in if somebody just had a surgery or just got out of the hospital, just to provide that one-on-one and that additional support that sometimes they need.
Yeah, I think it's great. And you're right. I do see that. I think everyone in the home care industry does
Yeah.
see that, where you do get a lot of facilities, not a lot of facilities, but
Yeah.
there are select facilities that I wouldn't say they would have a problem with us coming in, but I think they have a stigma or a feeling of maybe we're taking over, or something would happen within there where we're kind of taking over. And it's too bad, because the facilities like you guys that see the benefits and how it outweighs,
Yeah.
we know where our lane is, and we're going to stay in our lane. And you guys the same way. When you have that marriage together, it really is like top of the line care for somebody.
Yes.
And they get adjusted, and everything becomes, so much smoother and easier for them. So, like hanging out with a buddy and going to lunch and going, dinner and all these things. And
Running to the store.
it's nice. It's a nice transition. So I think it's great. For someone who's listening today, who's beginning the journey with their parents, what are the biggest pieces of advice or the best advice on how they can get in touch with you guys and learn a little more about the Goldton?
Yeah, so you guys can always reach out to me directly on my cell phone. I'll make sure that Chad has that information as well. But we're on Facebook. You can always reach out to us online through Google. We're here to support you. If you are local, we would love for anyone to come in, have a lunch with us, attend an activity. And just talk to your loved ones about the benefits that they could see from assisted living, and make it light and happy, and not like
right.
this is, a bad thing.
Yeah, no, it's a great thing, guys. And I've been here a handful of times over the years. And then when Rachel started here, I started coming and dropping in a little more often, because I've known her for so long, and the place has just gotten better and better. It's really a beautiful facility to come in and check out. So thanks again.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being on.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. And for all you guys, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Share this as much as possible. I'm here to get the word out on all of these resources that are in the Tampa Bay area for our seniors. That is my mission and my goal for this. So please share and make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button on all the different YouTube channels and Spotify. I'm on all of them. So again, until next time, I'll see you guys in a few days. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.